Welcome back, elevators, to Elevation 44, where we discuss all things energy mastery. It's your girl B, and today I'm here with a different type of video. It's just a whole new vibe, but it's something that I find that may be an assistance to you along your journey. So before I get into that, if you're new to this channel, I just want to say welcome to the family. We're so happy to have you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on any video that's coming your way. Okay, so like I said, this is a little out of the norm, and I really hesitated and was kind of going back and forth in my head about whether I wanted to do this video or not, because my sacred space is just that. It's sacred to me, and it's not a place that I show off to everybody else, and it's not a space that I invite people into. But again, I felt called to do this because as so many other people are going down this journey, I know that there are many of you who are thinking about creating your own sacred space, or like, what can I put on my altar? What are some ideas? So this video serves to be as inspiration to you. I hope you find this helpful, and if you do, let me know in the comments below what you plan on doing with your sacred space. If you don't have one, if you do have one, how you plan on maybe incorporating some of the things that you've seen into it, and let's get right into it. Let's enter my sacred space, and what we're looking at here is my closet door. And that's right, my sacred space is in my closet. I wanted somewhere that was out of the way and didn't have any traffic, so this was the perfect space. And I have a walk-in closet. It's not super big, but it's just right for me. Okay, and the most important part is that I can keep my little altar in here and all of the items that I need. So the first item that I'm going to talk about is this floor pillow. And I got this pillow from Home Goods. And it was like one of their one-off pillows that they usually have in the store. And I saw it and I thought it was perfect for practicing yoga. And little did I know when I got this pillow that months later I would find a table that went perfectly with it. So this was just kind of one of those things that clicked together. And this floor cushion is very comfortable. It's better than sitting on the floor and getting a cramp. Anybody who sits Indian style on the floor knows, or crisscross applesauce, like my son likes to say, on the floor, knows that it can get quite uncomfortable and you can get cramps in your legs. So this kind of helps alleviate some of that. And when I'm not using it, I just, tuck it away, and then I have more walking space in my closet. But since I'm going to show you my altar, I'm going to put it here on the ground and move on to the next item. So it's a natural segue from the floor cushion into this table right here. Actually, I don't know if it was meant to be a stool or a table. Something tells me it was supposed to be a stool, but I'm using this as my altar table because it's absolutely perfect. It is my favorite item in my sacred space. I don't know if you can look and see all the details. It is made of solid wood, and it is hand painted. Like, it is so beautiful. This was crafted in India, according to the tag that came on it. And it's just hand painted and carved like this beautiful elephant with all this adornment. And I just love it. All the detailing. I love how solid and heavy it is. It's got a little tail back there. And it's just the perfect size and aesthetic and weight and everything that I needed to have in my sacred space. So I found this table at, no, not Marshall's, Ross. I found it at Ross, and it was, again, one of those one-off things. It was like sitting there waiting for me to pick it up. And I had gotten the elephant floor cushion months earlier and had no idea I would come across this gem. So as soon as I saw it, I snagged it up, and I've been using it ever since. Okay. Before I get into the items on my little table, let's go over here really quickly. I have these spiritual books that I keep in here. I'm not really a person who keeps a lot of books, physical books. I keep more ebooks because I try not to subscribe to a lot of clutter in my home and a lot of items in general. So these are the ones that I do want to keep a physical form of, so I have an easy reference. So down here is the Encyclopedia of Spirits. Here's an herbal book, The Mysteries of the Dark Moon, The Essential Guide to the Left-Hand Path, Honoring Our Ancestors, and the Encyclopedia of Magical Creatures. And I like to leave them here just for easy reference and things that I may think about while I'm in meditation and I don't want to go and grab my iPad or any technology or anything like that. In these boxes, I love these boxes too because they pretty much go, again, I got these, like, everything I got is separate, but I got these boxes, I think, at TJ Maxx, but they have the same, like, detailing, very similar to the table over there, and it just the same wood and everything like that. These were also made in India, so I just thought that they went perfectly with the space. The one here I have at the top, I have some of my healing stones that I keep in there that I've been working with recently. And then here at the bottom, I've just got my incense burner, some of the charcoal, some sand, and some of the leftovers after I burn, or ashes after I burn. And you have my incense or herbs. So I keep that there. And then on top, I just keep some fresh flowers in my altar. And for a space that has no windows, flowers last really, really long in here. So I don't know, there's some magic going on in the air in this little sacred space, because I thought flowers would die out in here, and they live for like weeks in here, honey. I don't know what's going on here. Next to my two boxes sandwiched in between my table and my little boxes, I have my writing journal where I write down my little tarot readings or anything else that comes to me, or, things that I'm thinking about. And then I also have my grimoire right there, okay? And on my table, I have my Ganesha back incense flower. I have my altar candles, and I have one white and one black, and that is for the balance, and that is also for protection and for shadow work and for, the balance between the light and the dark. So I've been using both candles. I usually was using like 2 white candles on my altar, but I've switched to having one white and one black for the time being. I also have my little selenite tower, which is great for channeling, which is great for keeping the altar and the space, the sacred space, just kind of, I would say, light and cleansed. I also have my labradorite stone here, and that's the stone of magic, and it's also for psychic protection and a whole bunch of other things. I also have a hematite stone here for grounding, and then I have my clear quartz, and this I usually keep on my altar so that I can intensify or amplify the energies of whatever stones that I'm working with, because I'll have different stones on my altar at different times for different purposes. Here I just have this little jar of shells, and the shells really spoke to me because they remind me of sacred geometry and the golden ratio. I have this feather that I use sometimes to write my intentions or petitions. This feather I actually found or fell right in front of me on the beach in Virginia. On Virginia Beach. So I don't know, I just kept it. I picked it up and I kept it near to me because I felt like the universe wanted me to have it. So I took it with me and here it is. On this side, I have this elephant and camel, which I picked up in Dubai. I have a starfish pendant from one of my deceased relatives, this cowrie shell, and then I also have this incense burner. I like it because you can put the stick in at the top or you can put a cone in the center. I have my little palmistry thing here, and I forgot to mention I have some dried flowers in my little Ganesha back incense floor. It's pretty cool because the incense, then the smoke comes down and like it fills up. It just looks really cool. And then under here I just have, let me move this so you can see, I just have, this is filled with, let me see, this is filled with sea salt, and that again is for cleansing, purification. So that concludes what's on my table. So now let's look and see what is under my table. And under here, I've got some goodies. The first is this basket of oils, and these are just kind of the oils that I use for any of my ritual work, for, I don't know, wearing daily to evoke certain energies. So here are some of my homemade ones. This is my Taurus full moon oil. This one is Aries. This one is Pisces. And then I have some essential oils here, lavender and rose. And then I also, even though I know how to make my own oils, I love supporting other businesses. And Jess over at Bahati Life has wonderful oils. So I ordered quite a few of hers as well. There's just so many in here. I'm not going to show you all of them, but so the other items that I have down here is my mortar and pestle for crushing herbs. And then I also have my wishing jar, so I'll write down some of my intentions and wishes and put this in there and just tuck it under the table. It's like a set it and forget it type of thing. Just let the universe do its magic. So I just, you know, put them in there and tuck them away. And then also I have a railroad spike under here, and you might be confused as to why I would have a railroad spike under my altar, but I have it there for protection, and that is all that I will say about that. So directly to the left of my table, I have my singing bowl, and I love using the singing bowl, the vibrations from the singing bowl, to clear the energy in the air. So that's what I keep that there for, and I keep it on its own little pedestal so that nothing is touching it and it does not disrupt the sound coming from the singing bowl. And then I have this wooden organizer. It's supposed to be a jewelry organizer, but I love it because it just goes so well with the rest of the items, like the table and the boxes, and it's just the perfect size for storing and keeping all of my little items organized here. So let's start at the top. I have my tarot decks and my oracle decks. I also have a jar of matches. Behind that, I have Florida water for cleansing. I have this feather that I use for fanning smoke for incense, or when I am cleansing with sage or Palo Santo. In this first drawer, I have like some pens and some petition paper. So if you don't have parchment paper, you can cut up like brown paper bags and use that as well. So that's what I use. In this drawer I have my incense. So here's my incense, and then the little cones. In this drawer I have some of my supplies, so a candle holder, some tape, some tongs, some scissors, and then I have my sage that I use to cleanse the space. Down here I have some dried herbs and some resin powder, and that's for burning. And then in this little drawer down here, I just have some candles for whenever I'm doing my candle magic. And that wraps up that. Right above the table, I have some pictures of some of my ancestors that are no longer with us. I have some visual inspiration, some information. When I was learning the tarot, I found having these little cheat sheets up here was very helpful for a quick reference without having to dive completely into, you know, a book or going online or anything for reference. I also love the images of this girl here, which is the Sun Tarot card, and this woman here, which is the High Priestess. It just kind of keeps everything in perspective for me. This is a picture of me when I was a little girl, and look at the freaking synchronicities, y'all. Like they've been there from the beginning. And this picture I have up because it reminds me of the promise that I keep to myself daily to keep that little girl at the forefront of everything that I do. I also have some butterflies on here that speak to transformation and were actually a big part of why I wanted to connect with my ancestors, because I was getting lots of signs, especially from white butterflies all around me. And then here I have this little Buddha, I don't know what to call it, like this little Buddha pouch that I got from my trip to Japan, and it's supposed to be for good luck. Up here, I have my little light, which I'll show you in a second. And above that, I've got my dream catcher. So this little light is controlled by this remote that was sitting up on the top of the matches. And it's battery powered, so it's awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the light to show you exactly why I love this little light. So when you turn on the light, it's just this regular white light. And it provides the perfect amount of light here over my working space, especially if I don't want the harshness of the light from the overhead closet light. I can turn up the brightness, or I can turn it down to set the mood. But my favorite part about it is that you can actually change the colors. So you can change it. It has different settings where the colors can go in and out. And I love this because I feel like it's a form of color therapy. And I can set a particular color based on the chakra or the color energy that I want to work with. So I really, 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 really love this light. And I will link it down in the description below. And then if I want to hold a color, see how it's changing? I can hold a color, and then this purple or blue, I think this is, will stay, and then I can let it change. And there it's orange, and I can have this orange light here if I want to work on my sacral chakra and that energy. So that is something that I'm super thrilled about. It's the newest addition, like I said, to my space, but I'm really thrilled about it. Okay, so that wraps up my sacred space / altar tour. Again, I hope that you found this information helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up, like, share, comment, subscribe, you know the deal, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.